So here we are again on the '02 Chrysler Voyager, front rotor making a lot of noise. Pretty sure that the pads are worn out, something that I should have checked on earlier. So we're going to put it in the shop, put it up on the lift, and check it out.
This problem could have been prevented if I had replaced the pads back when I knew they were down there, but now, as you can see, I may have to replace the rotor as well. So we'll pull this all apart and we'll check it out. Alright, so first what we need to do is we need to take this caliper off and kind of do a little bit closer inspection. We know we have to replace the pads, that's a given. And looking at the rotor, it looks a little thin, so I may not turn this one down. I may just buy a new rotor. Now remember, everybody's got their own way of doing things, so pull that out a little bit, away from the shoes. Pull that caliper right out of the way. While I'm underneath here working on this, I just don't want that falling down on me. Plus, I don't want to take a chance on breaking the line. So here's the pad on the inside that fell off. As you can see, it's gone right down to the metal. And this side here, I mean, there's a little bit left there, but not much. So I should have replaced those back when it was when they were about like this, when they both look like this. So now, unfortunately, I think I'm going to go ahead and replace this rotor. Normally, I would have just been able to replace the pads, but now I'm going to have to replace the rotor itself. Alright, now to do this, to pull this off, we're going to need to remove this bracket that holds the caliper on. We have a bolt here and a bolt here. So once we remove that bracket, we can pull the rotor off. Pull that bracket right out of there. Now we can pull the rotor off. Alright, we're back from the auto parts store with some new pads. Nice. Ready to go. And, more importantly, a new rotor. About 60 bucks for everything. Ooh yeah. Nice. A little bit more meat on this one than the one we just took off. So now let's go ahead and put it all together. Now we're just going to reverse the process. Just clean it up, make sure nothing's behind there. Do the same thing here. Slide that on. Alright, now we need to put that bracket back on that holds the caliper. Just go ahead and slide the new pads on. Kind of slip right in the groove. The same thing on this side. There we go. Now we need to work on the caliper a little bit before we can continue on. So before we can put the caliper back on, we need to compress the cylinder. So the first thing you do is you take the cap off the brake reservoir, and then you put something on there to push it in. This is kind of crude here. This is just an old tool and a little clamp, and you just start turning this and it will slowly compress that in. Alright, I think I've compressed that enough. So now just take that in, slide it on. Line those bolts up. There. So there it is. It's all set. I replaced the pads on the other side, so I'm good to go on that. All I got to do is put the wheels back on and head on down the road. It really wasn't worth turning this rotor. I had already turned it once before, as you can see how thin it is here. So it was actually not a bad idea just to replace the rotor. So I hope this helps you with your project, and thanks a lot for watching.